Today, we're introducing a smarter, more intuitive version of a feature that has been there with Interact for quite some time now, which is workflows. And now we are calling it as no-code chatbot builder. It is designed to make creating automated workflows simpler, faster, and more efficient than ever before. So what's changed with this new version? So in the past, creating workflows with Interact required a lot of manual effort, a lot of back and forth between the workflows and the custom auto replies, right? This was a bit of a complex and a more time-consuming process. But with this new no-code chatbot builder that we call it, has become a lot easier and it has become more interesting. Now you can create workflows by simply defining the nodes and connecting them through the branches. So there's no need of any technical expertise or coding skills. So it's just simple selections and straightforward actions. And you know what is the end result? A much smoother, a more efficient way to automate customer interactions. So I will just begin with a quick introduction about Interact, and then followed by the benefits and some use cases of the new chatbot builder, and then finally I'll walk you through a live demo. So this session will be around 35 to 45 minutes, including question and answer segment at the end. Please feel free to drop whatever questions you have in the question and answer section, which is there at the bottom of your screen. I have my colleague Cheshta, who's also a customer success manager. She'll try and answer your questions simultaneously, right? So I will turn off my camera for a better bandwidth, and let's start with the presentation. So for those who are new to Interact, let me give you a quick introduction. Right. So Interact is a conversational automation platform which is built to help businesses connect with customers via channels like WhatsApp and Instagram. Interact was founded in 2021, and we are proud to be named as SMB Partner of the Year 2024 by WhatsApp, and in 2023 for our exceptional efforts in promoting and helping customer adopt click to WhatsApp ads. We are a strategic partner and a leader in WhatsApp. We process more than 15 billion conversations annually and are highly rated by our customers with 4.5-star rating on platforms like G2 and Shopify. This is something that we are really proud of. Right. So now let's talk about the challenges that businesses face when it comes to customer interactions and automation. Right. So we have noticed that many businesses struggle with, first of all, manual responses that lead to delays, long gaps between interactions, and slower response times, which further lead to poor customer experience and a suboptimal customer journey. Right. Uh, Also, one of the other problem is lack of technical expertise. So many businesses need some level of technical knowledge to deploy the chatbots effectively, right? And also this comes with a lot of cost, and it is also time consuming. This no code chatbot builder addresses all the problems. It is a powerful tool that helps customers, or rather businesses, automate customer interactions quickly and efficiently with no technical knowledge or coding skill required, I mean, whatsoever, right? Before I dive into no code chatbot builder, let's quickly touch on the impact of WhatsApp automation, right? So, because of automation, more than 1 billion messages are processed each week, right? This has led to 67% higher conversion rates with WhatsApp chatbots and nearly 30% reduction in customer chat, or rather customer support costs, right? Uh, this shows that automating your interactions via WhatsApp can significantly improve both your conversions and operational efficiency. Next. So let me introduce you to what we are all here for, the no-code chatbot builder. I mean, you can see a small screen on the right-hand side. This is a preview of a chatbot builder. It is designed specifically for WhatsApp, offering features that help businesses from SMBs to D2C brands set up automated workflows for various use cases. And you know the best part, you don't need to be a developer or a coder to be able to set up these automated responses. I mean, the interface is super simple. I mean, just select the action items, define the responses, connect the nodes with branches, and boom, you're all set. Now, let's look at some key highlights, right? So, a chatbot builder basically does it all. I mean, it handles everything from lead qualification to service booking, basically from acquisition to conversion. It does it all, right? Uh, it also has, so basically Interact does have a multi-channel support as well, right? So we include WhatsApp and Instagram. This Instagram integration has been there for quite a while now, and I wanted to speak with you regarding this. So basically we have now introduced new features like price please and giveaway automation, right? So I'll give you an example. So let's say you are a business marketing your products on Instagram, right? And you might have noticed people commenting PP, which is price please, or like what's the price, and somewhat similar sentences or keywords, right? So if you want to direct these people who are commenting on such product posts and to get the details of the product in their DMs, right? So if any of your like these people try and comment every time on such product posts, like if you want to share the details of that particular product directly in their DMs, like, and this process has to be automated, right? So this is something which Interact will help you with, right? So Interact will do it for you in few simple steps. We will cover this in our next webinar, obviously, but I just wanted to give you a gist, right? And it's going to be an absolute blast because we are one of the very, very few businesses to introduce this feature, price piece and giveaway automation. So we'll cover this in next, webinar. Now, talking about some popular use cases, right? So first is obviously lead qualification, right? So let's say, assuming that you're a business and you're looking to ask certain specific questions before you qualify your potential leads, automation can handle this efficiently. Let's say, for example, you're a business, you're into a real estate business, and before you qualify your potential customers, you want to ask them few questions, right? And you want this to be handled by the automation. This is something which most of the businesses do, right? And this will come under, like, so basically we have two sorts of no code chatbot builder. One is the basic one, and the other one is the advanced version of the chatbot builder. So this use case will be covered in the basic version of the chatbot builder, right? The other two use cases are service booking and appointment booking, right? So I mean, these are pretty common use cases. So automation can basically handle service related queries such as booking a service or tracking orders. And similarly for appointment booking as well, this allows customer to book appointments directly through WhatsApp, right? So I mean, basically, as I mentioned, basically we offer two versions of the no-code chatbot builder. One is the basic version, which is available, and this is quite important. So the basic version is available with the growth and the advanced plan, and covers some essential use cases, just like the lead qualification, like lead generation that I just spoke about. The other is the advanced version of the chatbot builder, right? So this chatbot builder is available with the advanced plan only. I mean, this version allows integration with your CRM and the Interact platform. So it lets you fetch and populate, update, delete the information via API calls triggered through webhooks, right? So this advanced version of the webhook, this advanced version of the no-code chatbot builder will help your platform and your Interact to communicate, right? To fetch the information, or you can probably update the information, populate or delete the information, right? So this will require the advanced version. So we have two basic versions, as I mentioned, two versions of the no-code chatbot builder. First is the basic version, and then we have the advanced version, right? Now, let's dive into the live demo, right? And for this, I will have to share a different tab. Right. So to be able to access the no-code chatbot builder, you have to, I mean, this is, let's say your Interact platform, you'll have to go to the automation section on the left. You'll have to navigate to the automation section on the left, and then you have workflows, right? So, I mean, I'll just explain, I'll try and create one scenario for the lead generation, for the lead generation, and the other two scenarios, which is appointment scheduling and service booking, is something which I've already created, but I'll show you in action how it works, right? So in order to create a new workflow with the help of Chatbot Builder, you have to click on Create New at the top right. You have to navigate to the automation section, Workflows, and Create New. Right? We'll give the name of the workflow. Let's say. So we'll take an example of real estate. Let's say assuming that you're a real estate business, all right? So these are the action items. You just have to drag and drop the action items, right? It's as simple as that. Right, you can color your cards as well, paying green. I mean, just to because you can create multiple workflows from one single action item, right? So you can do that. So let's say, assuming that you're a business, you're into real estate business, and you want to ask certain questions from your prospects before you qualify them as the actual customers or prospect leads, right? So basically, what you can do is you can start off this workflow with a welcome message. Now, the best thing is you can, I mean, there are multiple ways to trigger the workflow, right? So I will show you. So give me a second. Right. So over here, in the automation, we have welcome message, right? So you can trigger the workflow with the welcome message also. You get an option to, add the workflow. Or let's say you can go to the automation and then go to custom auto reply. You can create a new custom auto reply. So this will be the trigger basically. Let's say, for example, test, and we have given an option of a workflow. So you can select the workflow. So there are multiple ways to trigger the workflow. So basically, once you have created a custom auto reply, you can add this particular button in the template and then set up a campaign, right? So there are multiple ways to sort of trigger the workflow. So assuming that you're a real estate business, so what would be the first question, right? So I will help you. So it's like hello, and thank you for reaching out to us, right? And then would you mind if we ask you few questions, right? So this is the first sort of a message that goes to the customer, right? Now customer replies with a certain answer, right? Let's suppose yes or sure, whatever, right? Then comes the next. Being into this business, obviously you know that you're going to ask certain questions from the customer first. So this being the welcome message. Next, we'll add another action item, which is send message plus button, right? So over here, what we are going to do is we're going to ask the second question. Let's say, for example, what's the budget you have in your mind, right? So over here, you can give either you can wait for the customer's response or you can give a button, right? Let's say you give three buttons, more than one CR, and then you can add another button between 2 to 5 CR, and then third button more than 5 CR, right? And you can save the response. So these are the buttons that we have given, right? And you can save the response. So over here, you get an option to save the user response. Now there are two things, right? You can either save this response as a user trait or a workflow variable. Let's say if you want to use this information, whatever the button customer has selected later on in the workflow, then in that case you'll have to use workflow variable, right? So this will be only applicable if you have the advanced, if you're using the advanced version of the chatbot builder, where you have dynamic responses. Over here you have static response. I mean, these responses are not going to change, right? So we are saving this as a user trait, right? Let's say since we do not have a trait, we'll create a new trait. Let's say we'll give the trait name as budget real estate. right? So we'll save this information. Whatever option customer selects is going to be saved in a user trait, which is budget real estate. I'll save this step. Now what I have to do is I have to connect these nodes with the help of branches, right? So this is how it works. So if the customer, replies for the first message, then this message will trigger what's the budget you have in your mind, and then three options, three buttons, right? And now we are also saving this information in a trait which is budget real estate. I'll show you later on how this will look like. Now, what is the next question? The next question would be whether the customers are looking these. I mean, the customer will be looking for a flat or an independent bungalow. So again, we'll select the same action item over here, right? Uh, so this is one example. Are you looking for a flat or independent house? Right, and we can also give two buttons over here again. A flat and a second button, independent house, right? Again, we can save this information if you want to, right? We'll save it as a user trait, property type, right? And we're going to save this step. Again, what we're going to do is, irrespective of whichever button customer selects, this message has to trigger the next one, right? So we are going to connect these all the buttons with the next step with the help of branches, right? So this is how we are going to do it. So if the customer selects more than 1 CR, between 2 CR, 2 to 5 CR, or more than 5 CR, irrespective of whichever option they're going to select, this message will trigger, right? And the next last, let's end this workflows. Last message is going to be like, thank you for the information, and our representative will get in touch with you. Right, so this is the end. So we're basically ending this this flow, right? Now we have the information. We have two informations that we wanted, from the leads, which is the budget that they have in their mind and the type of property, right? So this is one workflow. This is how it basically looks like, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this workflow and let me show you how it works, right? I'm going to come back to the custom auto reply. I'll set a trigger. So this is my trigger, test 24 December. I'll select the workflow from here, lead generation real estate, and save. Right now, I have a trigger which is test 24 December. So I'm going to go on my WhatsApp now. Okay, let me show you how it works. Basically, it's pretty interesting. And I'll also tell you the reason why we were saving those values, right? So we will test. So we'll basically reply with the keyword just to trigger the workflow. Test 24 December. See, right? So as soon as I, Interakt identifies the keyword, it will trigger the workflow. Hello, thank you for reaching out to us. Would you mind if I ask a few questions? So I'll say, yes, sure. Then I'll get another automated message. This is from the workflow itself, right? So I'll quickly go back and I'll show you the questions and these things, right? So this is from the workflow itself, right? What's the budget do you have in your mind? I'll go back to WhatsApp and show you. So it says, what's the budget you have in your mind? Let's say I'll select more than 1 CR. So irrespective of whichever option I select, it will trigger another question. Are you looking for a flat or an independent house? Let's say I'll go for an independent house. And then the final message. Thank you for this information. Our representative will get in touch with you, right? So it's pretty easy, and it's absolutely interesting. Now I'll show you what we get in the user section. Since we are saving two user inputs, right? So one is the budget and the second one is the property type, right? So what I'll do is I'll quickly refresh. Just give me a second. So I'll tell you why we were actually saving that information, right? So, right. So over here, I will search for my this thing, my number, or I'll search for my name. Basically, I can go from here in box also. Right. So if you see, you'll get all these chats in the inbox section of the Interact. Now you have the responses saved as well: budget real estate and property type real estate. Could you see that? So basically, we have saved this information over here. I had selected more than 1 CR budget and the property type as independent house. Now what I can do is I can go to the user section and I can add a filter. Let's say I'll go for independent house because I had selected independent house, I guess, right? Done. So when I'll apply this filter, it'll give me the user who had selected, all the users who have selected, property type real estate as independent house, right? You could see that. So this information is saved in the user section. Now, why this is useful is because you will have the cohort basically of the customers who have selected independent house, and you'll have a different cohort with all the customers who have selected a flat, right? So in a way, you can send a marketing notification to all these customers. You can target them separately. This is why it's important to save the customer inputs, right? Let's say I'll go for budget at this time. I'll apply a filter. Budget real estate contains more than 1 CR. So it will filter out those customers who have selected more than 1 CR. It's not giving me because I have a space over here. Right? So now it gives me a user who has selected more than 1 CR, which is basically me. I just did the testing, right? So, I mean, basically, if you want to segregate your customers based on the inputs they have given, and let's say you want to, again, send marketing messages separately to these customers, you can do that. It's absolutely simple. You just have to, create a workflow, and you have to save the customer information over here, save user response, right? So this is the workflow wherein we have sort of static inputs. You have the static responses from the customers. Now let's discuss about the other case wherein we have dynamic responses from the customers, right? So let's go for appointment scheduling. So we already have this workflow that I've created, right? Again, the first message is the welcome message, or maybe the first message of the workflow, whatever you want. Again, you can connect this with the welcome message, or you can create a custom auto reply, use the button in the template. So there are multiple ways to trigger it, right? So I'll explain you what we have actually done in here. So this is for appointment scheduling, right? So what we have done is the first message is hello, welcome to Interact. Let's say, how can I help you today? And we have given two options: book an appointment, cancel an appointment, right? So over here, we are going to have two separate workflows, right? So one is book an appointment and the other one would be cancel appointment, right? Now let's go for book an appointment. So over here, first question is please select your preferred date in this particular format, right? Now this is quite interesting. So different customers will have different preferred date, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to save this information as a workflow variable over here, right? So workflow variable is selected date, what we have entered. And why we are doing this is because we need to use this information later on in the workflow, right? It's pretty interesting. So we'll get multiple inputs from different customers. We're going to get we're going to get different inputs from customers, right? And we are saving that information as workflow variable, right? And we're going to pass this information through a webhook, right? So obviously Interact, let's say if the customer has selected 26 December 2024, now we are going to pass that date through the webhook in order to fetch the information, in order to check the available dates from your CRM, right? So we'll trigger the API call through the webhook to check the slots available. So the request type is get, and we're going to test. So always ensure whenever you enter a request URL or a webhook URL over here, just make sure to test it once to check whether we are getting the relevant information from your system or not, right? Whether Interact is able to fetch the relevant information or not, right? So over here, this is our test webhook URL that we have added over here, right? So let's say I'll go for a different date this time. Let's say I go for 27 December 2024. I'm going to test this webhook. So I've gotten 3 slots, right, for 27 December. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save these slots with the help of dot notation. We have made it very easy for you. You can just copy the dot notation from here and save all the 3 slots, slot 1 and the dot notation, slot 2 and the dot notation, slot 3 and the dot notation, right? And then save this step. Now, why we are doing this is because we are going to show the customers the available slots that we have in the next message. So over here, we have added 3 buttons with a variable, and we have mapped all these variables with slots. Slot 1, slot 2, slot 3. So this is something that we have gotten it from the previous step while triggering the API call through the webhook, right? And we're also saving the responses, as I said, as slot 1, slot 2, slot 3. Why we are doing so is because now you'll understand. So once we have the information, which is the date and the slots, we are going to send the final message to the customer, right? So it is going to be like your appointment has been scheduled for, and then we have added 1 and 2 variable. So that is what I was saying. So if you are having dynamic values in your workflows, you'll have to use the advanced chatbot builder and make sure that you use variables and map these variables with the relevant information or the relevant saved responses. So over here, we have saved the date as selected date over here, right? So what we have done is we have mapped this variable as selected date and similarly selected slot as well, right? So selected slot. So finally, the customer has gotten in the information. Your appointment has been scheduled for 27 December and this particular time, right? So this is how it works. It's pretty simple, and it's quite interesting. Now I'll show you another example that will make things more clear, right? So let's say you are a hospital or a clinic, right? And you have set up a workflow for book a test and collect a report. I'll just slightly zoom this, right? So again, you have a welcome message. Hello, welcome to ABC Clinic. Please share your full name. So as soon as the customer enters the name, we are going to send the other message, which is, hi, how can I help you? Book a test or collect a report, right? So since you've already seen the workflow for booking an appointment, this time we'll go for report collection, right? So these are 2 separate workflows altogether from these 2 buttons, book a test and collect report. 2 separate workflows, right? So now let's go for this one, collect report. Obviously, if you want to collect the report, if the customers would want to collect report, first question is something that the business is going to ask is, please share your report ID, right? And if the customer shares the report ID over here, right, we are going to pass this information again. We're going to trigger the API call through the webhook to fetch the status of the report first, right? So we have the request type as get, and this is the sample, again, webhook URL, right? Make sure to test the webhook URL again. So we have gotten the status as ready, and the customers can collect the report on October 18, 2022, right? So what we're going to do is, so since we have called this API just to get the status of the report ID, so we are going to save this as status with the help of dot notation. So we are going to save it as a workflow variable status, and we'll copy the dot notation from here. As I had told you, it's pretty simple. And then save this information. So by calling the first API call, we will get the status of the report. And by calling the next API call, we will get the date on which the customer can collect the report, right? Again, I'll test a webhook. I'll copy the dot notation and I'll save this information in the save response as report date, right? Now the final message. The status of your report is, again, the dynamic values. So first is going to be the status, We're going to map this first value with the status of the report, and the second is going to be the report date. Now, that's one pretty interesting thing. Let's say the status of the report is not ready, right? You can also, we have given an option of error handling, right? So let's say if the status of the report is not ready, in that case you can add the fail safe message, which is, we are sorry, your report is not ready, right? If in case the report is ready, then the next API call will be triggered in order to fetch the date on which the customer could collect the report. Else this error handling message will trigger, we are sorry, your report is not ready. So we have done everything for you. It's pretty simple. Now, before you, anyways, create or plan this, to create the chatbot, so you must always have a rough idea of what exactly you're going to do, right? You must have a draft ready in every case whenever you're trying to create a workflow with the help of this new chatbot builder. So it'll make things absolutely easy for you, right? So let me show you this example, right? Right. So we have covered lead generation, real estate. We have covered appointment scheduling flow, and then we have covered the report collection part as well. Right. So basically, the appointment booking and the report collection part is going to be the advanced chatbot builder, and it is going to be available with the advanced plan only. Since you have basically, we are calling the webhooks, and it has dynamic values. Plus, let's say in the lead generation real estate that we had created, that was only for lead generation. It is pretty basic. I mean, it has static values over here. There's no webhook or API call involved, that and no dynamic values, right? So, irrespective of whatever option the customer selects, the next question is going to be the same. So this is basic version of the chatbot builder that we have, right? So coming on to the key benefits now, right? So what we have, basically gotten from this is, so basically the key features that we have gotten from this bot builder is that, first of all, there's no development skill required. You just need to have a brief, a rough idea of what exactly you want, basically, or what exactly you have in your mind. You just need to draft it down, and then probably you can, with the help of no code chatbot builder, you can create a workflow. Or if you need our help, you can reach out to us on support@interact.ai anytime you want. We have a dedicated team, customer success team, and a support team will help you guys out, right? Next is, you can create complex workflows with ease. We have multi-channel support, which is WhatsApp and Instagram, as I mentioned earlier. And chatbot does it all, from lead qualification to service bookings and appointment. It does it all, right? And it is easy to connect your CRM to fetch or update or delete the data, through the chatbot builder, as I mentioned, with the help of webhooks, right? So basically, this new no-code chatbot builder is here to help you save time, reduce cost, and provide a seamless customer experience. Whether you are in a retail, healthcare, or any other industry, this tool will make automating your WhatsApp interactions faster, easier than ever before. I think, thank you very much for today. I am really excited to see how you guys will use this new feature, this new chatbot builder, and improve and streamline your business operations, and probably drive more customer interaction, and improve on customer satisfaction. So thank you so much. I apologize if I've missed on any of the questions. Plus, do reach out to us on support@interact.ai. And I hope everyone has downloaded this resource article that we have prepared for you. Great. Thank you so much. And a very happy new year. All the best.